It's the first river in the world to be granted the legal status of a person, possibly the only river to have its own Twitter account, but locals say the Whanganui River would be in better shape if the Tongariro Power Scheme wasn't taking its headwaters. The former mayor, Annette Main, says the river looks dirty because of the silt in it, and the Genesis Energy-owned hydro dam makes it difficult for the river to clean itself. Lee Marama McLaughlin went to the river and filed this report.
For more than 20 years, Trevor Gibson has been sailing the Whanganui pedal steamboat up and down the Whanganui River. As the 82-year-old sets off today, he says he's seen a lot of changes to the river since he moved here in 1950.
You can see all this is erosion. That's going back over there about 10 metres over the years. It's just eaten right in on the side there.
And how does that affect the river?
Well, it slows it down a little bit.
A recent freshwater report from the Prime Minister's Chief Science Advisor Sir Peter Gluckman found that hydro dams can change the environment, including slowing the flow of rivers and causing erosion. Trevor Gibson says that's definitely the case with the Whanganui River.
When they put in the Tongariro Power Scheme, I reckon they pinched 18 inches of water out of the river because being involved in sea cadets in those days, we had to wait for a spring low tide to extend our slipway. Now at low tide the slipway's a metre out of the water, so where has that water gone?
Whanganui iwi spent 10 years in litigation with Genesis to try to stop the Tongariro Power Scheme from taking the river's headwaters, but to no avail. In a bid to keep out of the courts, the parties signed an agreement in 2010 which allows for more kōrero or discussions about matters of disagreement. A canoe guide, Charles Ranginui, says the power scheme disrupts the flow and life force of the awa from the mountain to the sea. He says sometimes the river looks sick.
Say the early 70s with Mum and Dad fishing up at Koronisi and Atani, and fishing the old way with the tunapā and, the stones, and would catch a bucket in a scoop, 20-litre bucket in one scoop, compared to like now, you're lucky to get a handful.
The former mayor, Annette Main, says the brown colour of the river gives it a reputation for being dirty.
We had an event here a couple of weeks ago and I heard parents saying, was it safe for their children to be taking part in the triathlon in the river? And I just said, look, it's just silt. It's silt that's run off the hills that we cleared. It's not unhealthy.
Whanganui iwi just passed its treaty settlement, which gave the river special status. Mrs Main says she hopes that will mean more focus is given to cleaning the river up, but she says the Tongariro Power Scheme doesn't help.
They not only take the water away and put it into another catchment, but they also take away a lot of the stones and kind of material that helps flush the river. So I do think it has its effects.
Genesis Energy have resource consent to divert the river's headwaters for another 22 years. The company would not be interviewed but said in a statement that it acknowledges Whanganui iwi's opposition to the Tongariro Power Scheme, but an agreement is in place with the iwi to discuss these matters. In Whanganui for Checkpoint, I'm Lee Marama McLaughlin.